Hi, my name is Newt Bailey.
Hi, my name is Netra Samaravikrama.
And we are about to do a role play of a conversation that could happen between two people who are both at home, sheltering at home, staying at home to help prevent the spread of the coronavirus. And this is just one of many kinds of tense conversations that could happen, you'll see. We'll ask you to work with us on one thing. As you can guess, Netra and I are in different cities and different houses, so we cannot actually enact the part where I walk up to Netra and start speaking to her. So you'll just have to imagine that part. But the rest of it, as you look at us, you'll just have to imagine that we're both in the same room chatting with each other or fighting with each other. And we hope that this will be useful in some way, and that you'll let us know in comments below and share if you think this would be useful for other people that you know. And check out communicationdojo.com if you'd like to know about other things that we're offering. Okay, so you ready to begin, Netra?
Yep.
Very good. I'm going to have a preparatory sip of water. Hey, you will not believe the latest thing, right? I was just watching, I don't know what channel it was, but anyway, they're now saying that, what? You just gave me a look. I'm just telling you it's important.
I'm getting ready for my Zoom call.
Yeah, I know, but it's not yet, is it? Because your Zoom call's in like 20 minutes time or something like that. I've just got to tell you this thing. It's completely blowing my mind.
I've got to prepare for this. Like, it's an important meeting.
Yes, well, I'm just trying to stay sane in this crazy situation, all right? And we've been putting your work first for like weeks before this even all started. So
I don't have time for this. Like, please, you got friends, you got like, call Jean and tell her about it, you know, like.
I don't want to call Jean. I just want to tell you, I'm living with you, right? You're my partner. Can't I just walk in and tell you a thing that I've just heard that's kind of like a big deal?
Not right now. I have no time, like nada.
They're completely,
no time.
Like the governor in New York is completely contradicting what the president's saying, and then there's another guy who's like, don't just look around, you're just looking away.
I've got to set up my call. I have a meeting. It's like super important.
Yeah, everything's always really super important if it's your thing, isn't it? I've got work as well, but I'm still like available for conversation.
People are getting laid off. I'm trying to keep my job so that you and I have food. I can talk to you like at 9 p.m. today, but
you're not the only one keeping us with food. Like, I'm working too. I'm just not like uptight about it. I mean, people are relaxing about this kind of thing because they understand shit's going on, you know? It's intense.
Not in my company. It's not happening.
I just can't believe that. It's just so annoying, you know? I'm gonna, can't believe it as well. I'm just like, I'm mad. I want to just kind of like scratch my head or something. I'm not even allowed to scratch my head. It's doing my head in. But what I'm going to do right now, rather than just fuming, is I'm going to do some self-connection that we learned in a nonviolent communication class. So I just want to do some writing. So starting out with, how am I feeling at this moment? I am feeling annoyed, and I'm feeling frustrated, and I'm feeling disrespected, and I'm feeling I don't know, I guess disrespect is maybe not even meant to be a feeling, but they said to just do whatever's coming. So I'm going to do stream of consciousness. I'm feeling just, I feel like she is just over anxious about work. I feel like she cares about work more than about us. And I feel scared about this whole situation and just, well, I was going to say, like I want some companionship or something, but I know that that's starting to answer a different question, which is what do I want? So I'm going to say I'm wanting companionship. In this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And there's that other question they said, like, oh yeah, if something catches your eye and disrespected, then how does it feel inside, or how does it feel in my body to feel disrespected? Well, I can say the same thing again. I feel annoyed when I feel disrespected and irritable and impatient. Oh, and indignant, you know, because that's another thing. I'm wanting a sense of like dignity, I suppose, dignity. Oh, and respect, right? Disrespected, I'm wanting respect. That's true. And oh yeah, it's lots of words and there's probably more going on in there. So how does it feel inside of me when I feel like she's being over anxious about work? Interesting. What just came to mind was I feel concerned. Actually, that's not what I was expecting, but I am feeling a bit concerned about that for her, you know. And but you know, what's coming to mind again is something that I want. I'm wanting some sort of kind of balance and perspective. You know, like it's not all about working. Because this isn't only the case during this whole coronavirus thing, you know, this goes on other times too. It's just like a thing which is an old problem that's just getting kind of triggered right now. I feel like she's just over anxious about it. I feel concerned. And again, I suppose they said to just write down anything that comes, even if it's a repeat. So it's frustrating as well because this is an old issue. And I feel like she cares about work more than about us. I feel sad about that. I feel sad about that. And I feel like a certain loneliness that feels vulnerable to admit that. Actually, both of those feel vulnerable to admit, but that's true. I'm not quick to admit to those kinds of things, but I think it's true. And I get that, you know, I also feel a bit embarrassed, actually. I feel embarrassed about feeling these things, and I also feel embarrassed because, you know, like she says, we're both putting into the household and keeping the boat afloat, you know. So I'm down here, and what do I want? So I'm wanting to be understanding as well. I do want to be understanding of her stresses and her concern. That's true. Yeah. And what? Just any of these that are jumping out as me? Perspective. What's that about? Want her to have perspective, because that's what I'm saying. Her to have perspective. So what's that? If she has perspective, what does that give me that's valuable to me? Oh, some sense of mattering, actually. You know, or maybe it makes more sense for me to say to matter, sense that I matter somehow. Yeah, like if she's seeing the importance of our relationship in perspective with the work and balancing those things out, you know, there's some of the balance as well. It gives me a sense of mattering. And she has perspective. Like, then she would also feel more connected in our relationship. She's giving it more time, you know, somehow, because I think it's affecting her too, that we're kind of getting at each other more, you know, bickering or whatever. And if she feels more connected in our relationship, what does that give me that's valuable to me? Like sense of connection and closeness, ease. Life's just easy, you know, ease and harmony. Yeah. You know that. Oh, and I'm wanting to be understanding because, yeah, I'm wanting what that will bring. If I'm understanding again, it just brings more ease and closeness and stuff. So, let's jump over to this is me doing empathy for me. Oops. Empathy for me. And now let's do some empathy for the other. Oops, empathy for the other person. How do I think she's feeling? Worried. Like it's urgent, and she's feeling like it's urgent. It's for her to do these things all the time, work, and maybe she's feeling impatient with me, giving her the updates all the time on the news. And I know she's feeling scared too because she's told me. Both about like getting laid off and also about all the other stuff there is to be scared about right now. And what do I think she wants? To be left alone to work for hours on end. Security. Financial security, I guess those are both security. Yeah. And just, yeah, more ease, like not, we've had this kind of running with each other a number of times already, and I'm sure she'd love for it to just stop. So what does she want? How does she feel? I guess it's how might she feel, because I don't really know. Might she want? That's everything that I can think of. But if it's got a lot of words in it, so let's think, if she gets left alone to work for hours on end, what does that give her that's valuable to her? Like just ease, and flow in her work, focus, and something about reputation. She's always concerned about reputation because reputation equals security. She gets to maintain her reputation in the company. She maintains security and growth as well, you know, like career growth, something like that. Okay. Yeah. And all that comes up for me on back up here, just checking in with myself again, what do I want is to be kind. Because I know I can lose that pretty easily and get sharp in my words. Okay. I'm going to go see at some point later on in the day here, I'm going to see if she's up for talking about this again. Hey, now that we've, you know, finished work and eaten and all that, and there's not much either of us needs to do before bed, I'm wondering if we could review what happened in that conversation today, because I've been doing some thinking about it, about what was going on for me and imagining what's going on for you about that. And so I'd love to just reconnect about it if that's something you're up for.
Yeah, sure.
Like I get the impression maybe you're not exactly feeling enthusiastic about that and not feeling very hopeful about it.
It's the same old conversation. We've had this so many times now.
Same conversation. So yeah, like it's getting frustrating for you and you're not very hopeful about us being able to do much with it.
Yeah, like I have a lot of work. I have so much pressure. I'm like at breaking point and I've had to shift, you know. I've had to shift to a whole new way of doing work. I've had to shift to like working around you, which I'm not used to doing. And it's just like, you don't get it. Just don't get it.
Yeah. You don't get any sense that I really understand the pressure that you're under and the difficulty of the shift, the transition that you've made to working from home and working around me. And you don't get the sense of, you know, receiving understanding from me about that or empathy from me about that.
Yeah, I don't think you get it. And I just don't get why you need to like come up with the latest thing you read in the Chronicle or like what Andrew Cuomo said, you know, when I'm like 10 minutes away from my meeting. Like why can't that wait?
So it's like it's not meaningful for you that I would be doing that, and it's not some information that you're wanting at that moment. Like you have your hands full and your mind full with what you're doing, and you would just love to be able to have like a clear stretch of time in which just focus on the work that you're doing, and not switch focus to some story that I'm bringing in related to what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense? I mean, I heard what you said, that I'm not really understanding it, but I'm just wondering in this moment if you have any sense that I'm understanding what you're saying right now in this conversation.
Yeah, you got it.
But it seems like there's still like, it still feels bad in some way for you, like the fact that is it just seem like so much work to get to the point that you have an experience of me understanding you, that you're feeling frustrated or demoralized or something?
No, it's not that. It's just like I'm just stressed.
Just stressed.
I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
And And when I'm stressed and I'm trying to cope, then like you know, come and tell me that the apocalypse is coming. It's just like, it's like there's no space for not being stressed.
Right. It's kind of adding to the stress, basically, to be getting these kind of bulletins from out there in the world with a much higher frequency than you want to be hearing them. Like, I know you are taking an interest too, but I'm guessing you would prefer to kind of do that on your own schedule and make your own choice about when you're reaching out to find out what's going on out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for getting that. I mean, I appreciate it.
Right.
I appreciate you didn't get reactive.
Well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, I really don't. I know I can be that way, be reactive, of course, just like you know, and so I actually, I just took some time since we last talked and did some of that self-connection thing from the workshop that we went to, the Nonviolent Communication workshop, and I, hopefully I got a little bit more understanding what was going on for me, and I also I actually kind of tried to get curious about what was going on for you, but not assuming I understood, right? But just I wanted to at least try and think about it from your point of view. So anyway, that's what I tried out.
That made such a difference. That thing.
I guess you would be the one to assess that more than me. But I'm hoping it did. Certainly, I'm enjoying this conversation more than the one that we had earlier in the day, and I'm feeling better about trying to understand you and stuff more than I was earlier in the day. So, but yeah, that's what I did. I know that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, well, something's working.
Yeah. Well, cool. I don't want to drag us to keep on talking right now because I know we're both getting tired and everything. So, but thanks for talking about it, and yeah, hopefully it'll change.
Thanks for checking in.
Okay. Toothbrushing.
So yeah, this thing's been like really getting to both of us, I guess, and I don't know, whatever he did seems to have made a difference, so maybe I should just like give it a shot. Yeah, so let me see. Okay, what were the questions? So how am I feeling? Pissed, actually. Annoyed. So tired. Tired of COVID. Tired of being interrupted. I want peace. I just want some peace. I guess that gets me to the third question. What do I want? Peace. Focus. Space. I'm not used to working with him around. Driving me crazy. I think the thing I don't get is why he wants to give me these stupid news updates. Like when I'm trying to have a meeting, why does he want to do that? Okay. So if he stopped doing that, I want him to stop. Yeah, I want him to stop interrupting. If he stopped interrupting me, it would bring me, I guess that's the third thing. It would bring me that I value ease, clarity of mind. Yeah. Would also bring some kind of peace between us, because I know I'm getting upset and I don't like the way I'm talking to him. And I don't like the way like we're spending a lot of time together, but it's not fun time. Like we're either doing the laundry or cooking, or like talking about doing the groceries, or like worrying about toilet paper. There's like nothing fun that's happening. So what do I want? Huh. I actually think I'm pissed because I don't like the way we're spending time together. I don't the way we are spending together. So I want connection. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, I want connection, and bizarrely enough, to do that, to get that, I think I need some space to hear myself think. I wonder if connection is the thing he's wanting too. Maybe that's the reason behind the stupid news updates. Because he knows I check the news. Like, I read it every morning, and I read it every afternoon, and I read it every night. So like, let me try this for him. How is he feeling? Let's start there. Scared, probably. Really scared. Stressed. But I actually think connection might be the thing that he's empathy, maybe. No. And then sometimes it feels like he wants me to be just as stressed as he is. Huh. Shared reality. Oh, and I think maybe he wants to know that he matters to me. Oh, we give him that he valued. trust in our relationship. I trust that I'll be there if something goes wrong, maybe, and I won't like put my work before him. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's it. Okay. So I did my self-connection last night, and it's the next day. It's morning. I haven't started work yet, and I decided that I want to talk to my partner about the insights that I have and kind of check in with him before we start the work day and we go through another round of this. So I'm just about to go and check in with him. Hey.
Hey.
So I did that thing that, we learned in class because I saw you do it, and something kind of magically changed. And I was wondering if we can just talk about how we're both feeling, before we start the day, so that what happened yesterday won't happen again. Do you have some time to do that?
Yeah, I was actually, yesterday I didn't want to kind of drag out the conversation, so I wasn't going to try and talk about, my side of it or anything. So if you're up for hearing my side of it as well, that would be really great.
Yeah.
Because I want to be balanced about it. I do want to be more understanding, but I also want to be understood if possible. So.
Yeah, no, go for it. I'll try and listen as much as I can.
Oh, really? You don't want to go first?
Well, I kind of told you what was up for me, so I'd like to hear what's up for you.
Well, I guess it's freaking me out, just all of this. Like, I know I try and be pretty calm and even stoic sometimes or whatever, but this is tweaking me out in a way that not many things have done. And there's something about and I get that it's almost sometimes when I'm checking the news, I'm sometimes thinking to myself, why am I doing this? I checked the news an hour ago. Why am I doing it again? Like, we're not going to change anything today unless, if suddenly the Martians have invaded and I need to know something really huge, probably someone's going to call me or text me about it, because all my friends are checking the news too. So I can leave it more than 1 hour. But I do it anyway, right? I've been doing it. It's like, it's a way that I almost feel like I'm staying informed is like staying responsible, or is staying like ready to take action if some other action needs to be taken. I don't know, something like that. I feel like I'm trying, you know what? It's like I'm trying to, I didn't think of this yesterday, but all I got in touch with really, well, I got in touch with a bunch of things, but I got in touch with the fact that I was scared yesterday for sure. And I got in touch with the fact that I, like you, like I said, a sense of you putting work ahead of our relationship to an extent that seems out of balance. I got in touch with that as well. And I also got in touch with something just now that I don't think I noticed yesterday, which is, strangely, me checking the news all the time is my way of trying to like care for us. Like, I'm trying to stay vigilant and stay informed and everything. And yeah, I hadn't really thought of that before, but I think that's part of what the motivation is behind it. And like coming to you to tell you like, hey, I'm staying informed and I'm staying vigilant, I think that's it's not all probably, but that's part of what's going on when I'm kind of reporting back to you on the latest thing that I've come up with. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So I know in the process that, you know, they suggest that I kind of tell you back what I heard you say. You know, can I do that just to make sure I got it all?
Yeah, right. Okay.
So yeah, I heard you say that you're really scared and that this is just rattled you in a way that things normally don't rattle you. That normally you're kind of like pretty stoic about things, but this thing is really got its hooks into you.
Yeah.
And also that, you know, you find yourself checking the news a lot, and as you're doing it, you know, it sounds like you, maybe this is a guess that you might be feeling kind of ambivalent about it, because you know that, you know, every hour not a lot of things are going to change, like unless the marshals come in. And then you'd hear about it from somewhere else because everyone else is checking the news too. And then I heard you get in touch also with this other thing that it's like by you checking the news, it's like you're trying to stay vigilant. And part of it is a way of taking care of me, of taking care of us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this bit, I'm not sure if I caught everything because I was trying to keep it all in my head, but it also sounds like it's doesn't feel great to you that I'm spending this much time working, and it kind of feels like I'm putting work before us. Did I get that, or did I miss something?
Yeah, I mean, I said that. See, I'm touching my face again. I think it's like, anyway, that's another thing I got in touch with yesterday. It's like how nutty it's driving me, the things that you can't just do that are just normal things anyway. Yeah, I did say that, and that's true. And it makes me nervous to say it because I'm kind of like, that's not a new thing with this whole COVID-19 situation. That's a track we've been around before, and I don't know that we've ever really, you know, we kind of agree to differ, or we come to a temporary cessation of argument about it or something, but it's a recurring situation, and so, you know, I'm hesitant to raise it because I can just sort of like put up with it, and most of the time things are still pretty good, and it's just sort of in the back of my mind that it's a background kind of niggle or whatever that I wish there was more of a sense of balance between us in terms of how much time we have to give to each other and to the relationship, and me feeling embarrassed about the fact that I feel like I've got more time to give to it and more energy to give to it, even though I'm also working full time. But like, I'm embarrassed, like, what's wrong with me that I don't have a life, or am I not like dedicated enough to my work, or, you know what I mean? Like, I second guess myself on it in some ways. But yeah, so that's not new to you being at home, working from home now and stuff, and us being under the same roof. It's an old thing, but it kind of flared up when I was in that conversation with you yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and catch that one too.
Okay, great. I was hoping you would. I quite like this reflecting back thing.
Okay, good. Okay, this one might not be as easy for me, but I'm gonna try. So you felt kind of nervous, you know, bringing up the work thing because it's a track we've been around before, and we've had conversations about how much time I spend working. And before you kind of, like, it's always in the background, and you kind of put up with it. You feel like you put up with it, and other things in the relationship are good, but this thing is a kind of recurring frustration, it sounds like. Not sure if you use those words, but
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what else did I hear you say? It was that there was some kind of embarrassment that you were feeling.
Right.
Like you're working still, but it seems like you have more time to put into the relationship than I do. And a part of you is wondering if there's something like wrong with you, or if you don't have a life that you are putting in this much time.
Yeah. Or even worrying that you're thinking that about me, like, what's wrong with him? Why doesn't he have a life? Why does he need to be bothering me all the time? That as well. So, what I came up with, I was, I don't know if I was surprised or embarrassed or what yesterday to come up with that, the wanting to mattering is underneath this in some way. Like, I want you to know that you matter to me, obviously, but I really want it to be a sense of it being reciprocal and mutual and equal. Which I suppose comes down to security of a different kind, right? The security in the relationship, but also, it's that's old stuff for me from growing up and so on, and just really wanting to have a sense of mattering in my adulthood, even if I didn't always have it in the way that I would have wanted as a kid, when I didn't even realize. So I think it's a trigger need for me, really. It's like a trigger thing that sets me off if I sense that it's not happening. And I'm kind of, I've noticed that in the past, whatever, but it's not something I talk about a lot because I figure, just get on with it. Like, it's okay, relax. But since we are, I guess, getting into what's going on underneath, and it's such weird times, I feel like just sharing that. It's not comfortable to share it, but anyway.
Yeah. So, like, really dug deep, sounds like, and the thing that came up, a couple of things came up that a lot of it is about, like, reciprocity between us in the relationship, like that. I know that you think I matter to you, and it sounds like you also want to know that you matter to me just as much. And that's about, like, security, both in the relationship, just security in general. That kind of activates this childhood thing you told me about a couple of times. I think that's a kind of trigger need for you. Just like really wanting to know that you matter.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you got everything. You got maybe even more than I said. I don't know, but I feel super understood at this moment. A little bit nervous about what it's going to bring up for you, because I know it's been a struggle in the past when we've talked about this, but I'm really just kind of eager to hear whatever's coming up for you, actually.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. Like, I when I did the self-connection, the questions thing, imaging, one of the things that I suddenly realized is like, is what's underneath is part of what's underneath what's going on, is that you want to know that you matter to me. So I kind of came up with that. That was part of the insight that I had as I was thinking about it. So I was like, oh wow, that. So
And I thought I was hiding it so well.
Yeah, well, I know you know.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if that was the thing that came up, and it sounds like it is. Well, from my side, you know, I'm relieved that you feel heard. Like already this conversation is feeling different from like last morning's
Yeah.
sort of stress. And you know, it's like from my end, it is I'm stressed too. I'm like at breaking point, because I take my work very seriously. I love my work. I'm committed to it, and we've talked about this before. You know, and I'm just getting to a place where I feel like I've like reached a level of competency that I've been wanting to reach for the longest time. And I'm super, super scared because I've been laying people off. Like even people who are more senior to me are being laid off. And it's like, I'm just terrified. You know, the stock market's been crashing, and it's just like my savings are gone. And like I feel like I need to work triple hard, you know, to keep the job. And that's not just for me. Like I want to put food on the table for us. And for me, it's like I'm also the type of person who can't multitask. I think we've talked about this before, but
yeah,
you know, I don't have that superpower. I have coworkers who do, like they've got screaming children in the background and they're just like, you know, doing their thing, but like my brain just doesn't work that way. Anyway, I think I said a chunk. There's more, but maybe I'll just stop myself there because I think that's what the process is to do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm hearing again how stressed you are, and but this additional and terrified. I mean, that's like, I don't know if you used that word before. Actually, that's kind of pretty evocative of what you're going through. That I don't think I'd quite tuned into, that it was on that level. And just this thing of how hard you've worked to get to the place that you've got to, and how much you're enjoying it, and how dedicated you feel to your work, and really wanting to do everything you can to keep that ball rolling, and also it's something that you love and you enjoy it, and so that's one piece. And then the, you know, just the multitasking thing, that, you know, for you to really be given your work the focus that you want to give it. Some people can like switch focus to the screaming kids or something, and you have never had that ease with like context switching from one thing to another, which I know you've told me tons of times before. And maybe that's hard for me to get, because I think somehow, you know, I sometimes the way that I do things is to do like wash 3 dishes and then go write an email and then watch some news, and then I don't know, right? It's like I seem to be able to go back and forth with greater ease, perhaps. I don't know. So perhaps that's been hard for me to understand. But I'm sort of, maybe I'm getting it more at this moment, that how valuable and important it is to you to just have uninterrupted time to focus. Which actually, I don't know, I mean, tell me if I'm missing anything, but there's an idea coming into my head about this that might be something practical that I'd love for us to kind of avoid the kind of conversation we had yesterday, but I also don't want to give up on talking to you about my fears and my freak out and everything, you know, and I give up on that. So I've got an idea, but anyway, first of all, I just want to check if I've heard you.
Yeah, you did. You did. I mean, two things come up for me. Can I share what's happening?
Yeah.
One is like, I'm kind of embarrassed by my lack of capacity to multitask, because it's like I can't do what you can do. I can't write an email and wash 3 dishes and then get the news update and then go back to the email, and I just don't work that way. But the other thing that I realized as I was doing the process was that I'm actually frustrated because I do actually want connection with you. This might sound weird, but it feels like we're spending a lot of time together, but like it's not the things we usually do, right? We're not like going out to a concert, and we're not going out to dinner, and we're not going bowling, and it's like none of that is happening. And it's whenever I interact with you, it's a news update and the grocery list and the it's like all logistics, and I really want to feel that excitement of being together. And it's hard for me to feel that when I'm also feeling super stressed and also pretty crowded out. And it's this thing we've talked about before, that I actually need some breathing space, and I need to hear myself think and like get in touch with me so that I can connect with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. That you would love, we're spending all this time under the same roof, but not really spending as much time that's fun and really connected feeling, and less than you would like, actually, which is nice to hear, by the way. And that, but to do that, you need time for your work, but also just time to collect your own thoughts or something, to notice what's going on for you. And then somehow, if you have that space to do all of that, then you actually imagine that you'll be a lot more open to us having kind of a better quality of time together during those portions when neither one of us is working or asleep or whatever. So,
yeah.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's it. How does that land for you?
It lands well. I mean, like obviously, I like the sound of that we would be, because that's completely the mattering thing for me. That would matter to you. That's what I'm wanting, and it matters to me as well. And I'm wanting the same thing. It just adds something on, like to this. Can I tell you the idea I was having? I think, in a way that more than ever before, obviously we've run up against this thing before of you working super hard and me sometimes being disappointed, but that's normally been like a weekend where you've wound up doing work or something that's in these odd times, right? Or you've stayed later at night at the office. But now we've just got this perpetual thing right now, right? And we're using our home in a different way than is usual and that kind of thing. And I'm used to, like, when you're here, you're not working normally. And so, of course I can walk in and say, hey, I heard this news story. And normally it's just going to be kind of like just chit chat back and forth. And but it's like different rules now. And I feel like the home has become an office now for both of us, right? But it's like, but we've still got the same rooms we've ever had. And, so I feel like somehow figuring out, when are you at work, like this, is it possible to share with me, like, realistically speaking, when are you at work, and similarly, when am I at work? Because there are times when, even though I'm kind of dancing around all over the place, there are some times when it's useful for me to focus. something like that. And it doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be like, oh, between 8 and 6, I'm just not going to be available. Don't even look at me. Don't talk to me. It might not be that, but it might be kind of like, let's have lunch together, or
Right.
but it'll have to be a late lunch because I've got a meeting. So can we do 2 p.m. lunch? And then I can adjust around that, or something like having way more visibility into each other's schedule than we've ever needed before. And in a certain way, a little bit stuff that you wouldn't normally share with me because it's not relevant. You'd share it with colleagues maybe, but not with me. About, and when do you really want silence? I've walked in before when you're in the middle of a meeting because I didn't know, and that kind of thing. Like just some way. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Man, that would help me so much.
Yeah.
Like I could, share my calendar with you, or we could print off the calendars and stick it on the fridge. And then I think the other thing that would work is like if we could also maybe on the weekends, if we could block off times for us, like say, Tuesday evening from 4 to 6, we, watch a movie, or like, I don't know, go for a walk on the trails if they're still open. Like things that are not about groceries and laundry, but like find some other way of connecting.
Yeah.
And I can, because I do have some flexibility about my meetings, like the specific time, so I could schedule around that. I think if I have those blocks of time, time for us and time for work, then that I just need that separation, I think.
And I'm thinking from what you said, time for you as well. Sometimes like that you somehow have time when you're doing your thing. It's not work, it's not logistics, and it's not us doing whatever date time or and how about that whiteboard that's stuck on the fridge that has like a grocery list from 2017 on it or something? Because that was our idea to put grocery lists on it, and then we didn't. Why don't we just scrub that off and see if we can use that thing?
Yeah.
Do you think that would work, or do you need a different, more easily accessible thing?
Let's try it. As long as it doesn't go to 2021,
Yeah, right. I mean, it could just be the one day, or it could be 3 days in advance, or something like that. Just so that we know. I'm getting excited now. We can use color coding, but we just kind of see, if there's 3 days and we haven't color coded in any time that's just your alone time, or any time that's like us time, then it'll be really obvious if it's all just in whatever color we choose for work, So we could try that, and then if that's no good, if we try that for half a week and it's no good, we can switch to something on the computer or something. I'm just thinking the kitchen's kind of neutral territory that's not being used for work, and so therefore either one of us can go in there and look at the thing if we haven't remembered.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's give it a shot.
And I'm imagining, because even I'm starting to think that I should go and do some wash 3 dishes and then answer an email right now, that we should go and do that, right?
Sounds good. Well, thank you for talking.
Cool. And how about we just say one schedule for today, like at lunchtime, say 1 p.m. if that works for you. We'll have lunch and we'll then write the rest of our schedule for the next 3 days on that board.
Yeah, let's do lunch at 1 something and then do the scheduling. Like, I think that's going to take some time. So let's do that in the evening.
Okay, do the schedule. Okay, great. Okay. So we just do the scheduling after dinner, and we'll have lunch at 1.
Sounds good.
Cool. Have a fun time working.
Okay, you too.